السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our nourisher, our sustainer, our creator. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has sent Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as his final messenger. Here we are today on a very special day. It is already the 19th day of Sha'ban and corresponding to the 25th of April, as we bring to you a very important reminder. So many people are asking and now are engaging in the discussion. Yes, indeed, they will be questioning and asking why so many timetables are being circulated, while there is so much going around in the world, while there is so much other issues of great concern and worry. But in the month of Ramadan, just like how every day, given that we have to offer our prayers 5 times a day, we have to know the rulings, ahkam, injunctions of the prayer for the prayer to be valid. Understanding the prayer times, knowing the rules and knowing the injunctions when it comes to the month of Ramadan, in addition to your salawat and your prayers, we have to know the rules, ahkam of our fast. Given that fast is also ruknun min arkan al-Islam, Islam has been built on that 5 pillars. Bunya al-Islam ala khamsin, our shahada, the testimony, the establishing of the salah, and the fast of the month of Ramadan, the zakat, the hajj. Yes, indeed, every single pillar of Islam, there are rulings, there are conditions, because at the end of it, when it comes to matters of ibadah, when it comes to worshipping Almighty Allah Ta'ala, then we remind ourselves that Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum. Today I have completed the deen for you. I have completed my favor upon you. I have chosen Islam as a religion for you. So deen is complete. This verse is in Surah Ma'idah. But there is a verse in the Holy Quran which was revealed 9 nights before the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. And if I'm not mistaken, the verse number 280 in Surah Baqarah. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا كَسَبَتْ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. وَاتَّقُوا, be fearful, have taqwa of a day that you will return to your Rabb, you will return to your Creator. يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ, you will return to Allah. And every person, he will receive what he had earned in the life of this world. ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ, and he will not in the least be dealt unjustly, meaning on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, yes, every person, he will be taken to account for all of his a'mal and his actions. So our deen is complete when it comes to matters of ibadah. And given that fasting in the blessed month of Ramadan is such an important form of ibadah, worshipping Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we know the virtue, the fadila, the merits, the reward behind the sawm of the fasting person. Man sama Ramadan imanan ihtisaban, whoever keeps fast with iman and ihtisab, with iman and the hope of earning reward, Allah will wipe out all his previous sins. Man qama imanan ihtisaban, when you are standing at prayer at night with iman and ihtisab, and you know that there is so great a reward for your standing at prayer at night, Allah is wiping out all your previous sins. Neither you nor I know, and no person knows. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. The soul doesn't know on which part of the land he is going to die. So every day passing by, day after day, night after night, what is going to happen this very day, this very night, this is in the foreknowledge of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We pray and make dua that Allah Ta'ala give us life to see the blessed month of Ramadan. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. So many, and yes indeed, we listen to it in the news, we read about it, we hear about it. People passing by in front of our eyes, we have the knowledge about it every day, and yes indeed a time will come that Malakal Maut will come, and then we may be in the news that so and so has passed away. So intelligent is that person who knows that he has to leave the dunya, and he makes it preparations for his journey into Akhirah. Understanding the prayer times, we have to take you back to our presentation, given that at this moment in time, especially before Ramadan, masajid are printing timetables, and why and how and what is, and is it not that given that fasting is our own ibadah, just like how when you are standing in your salah and your prayers and you're offering your prayer, you make a preparation for the prayer, you know that you, and you also have understanding of your prayer times. Just like how you know that your prayer times, it has a beginning, it has an end. When you read your Fajr prayer, your Zohar, your Asr, your Maghrib, your Isha, is it not that when we look at the position of the sun, or we know even the position of the sun, we know when to offer our Zohar prayer. Similarly, we know when to offer our Asr prayer, and we know when to offer our Maghrib prayer after sunset. So the prayers, Zohar, Asr and Maghrib, is with the understanding those timings is according to the position of the sun. When it comes to offering our Isha prayer, then also there is a beginning time and there is an end time. Let's take ourselves to the time of the Fajr prayer, and this is what we would like to share with you and make you reflect and understand that your Isha, that your Fajr prayer, as you look, as you see, it has a beginning time. And the question is, what is the beginning of your Fajr time? That is the most important question that we should ask ourselves. Because if we understand and we clear about the start of Isha is by the disappearance of the twilight, and the start of Fajr is with the emergence of the twilight. يُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَيُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ. Amazingly, how Almighty Allah Ta'ala describes how the day it emerges into the night and the night emerges into the day. But also remember how Almighty Allah Ta'ala reminds us in the Quran, للشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. This is the greatness of the Creator, that the day will never outstrip the night, and the night will never outstrip the day. We are living at a location where we experience during the summer times very long days, and hence the Sharia has given us very important signs, especially for our Fajr, appearance of twilight. So you have in the beginning, in the morning, there is a phenomena known as Subh Sadiq, and there is first the Subh Kadhib. You have the false dawn and you have the true dawn. When do we start our fast? When does Sahri end? So we bring to you an understanding firstly of twilight. You have civil twilight, you have nautical twilight, and you have this astronomical twilight. So every day when the sun goes below the horizon, and as that sun is below the horizon at a certain depression angle, given that this is from not something new, it is only given that we are able to know with precision the depression angle of the sun below the horizon. After sunset, as the sun is below the horizon, and if it is 6 degrees, and then time passes by, it reaches 12 degrees, time passes by, it reaches 18 degrees now below the horizon, and that is known as astronomical 18 degree. And that is the period where there is a lot of discussion about when does your Maghrib Salah end. You know, after sunset you have that brightness on the sky, there's still that redness, and then when that redness Shafaka Ahmar, and then it goes into the whiteness, and what happens, then it goes and you have the darkness. That is a discussion of when exactly do our Isha time commences. So we have interesting discussion about where you have the giant scholar like Imam Abu Hanifa, and you have the difference of opinion with the Sahiban, his students, Abu Muhammad and Abu Yusuf. And you know, when you understand that there is a discussion with regards to the Isha beginning time, our issue and our concern is after the Isha time, there comes a time where the sun rises on the east, because every day we know sun sets in the west, and your Maghrib Salah is offered after Maghrib, and every day your sun rises in the east. So when is the beginning of Fajr? It is the beginning of your Fajr is when the twilight, the appearance of that light before, well before the sunset, well before the sunrise. And that is where from all those organizations independently calculated the angle of solar depression, you will note even from the many different organizations, they have found that the Fajr angle, whether it's Muslim World League or ISNA or Qura University in Makkah or Karachi, all are very close to 18 degrees, 18.5 degrees, 19.5. So it means that mushahada, the visibility of the first light, that speck of light which appears on your horizon, when you have it first going vertical and thereafter it starts spreading on the horizon, that is the most important discussion that brings us to the verse of the Holy Quran. وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. Eat and drink until the white thread of light is distinct from the black thread of light. Now, how do we know what is the white thread of light, what is the black, what is it referring to? Do you know that there was a period of time, and we are referring to those observations which is called mushahada, that took place in the 1980s. So if we go to 1980s, there was some group of individuals, amongst them ulama, who went out in a location in Lancashire and done some observation and produced and recorded their readings in the 1980s in an area which is light polluted. And hence, we ask ourselves, if we are living here in the UK, and as I have this globe in front of me, and we look at the position of our location in countries of more than about 45 degrees, the twilight of the sun remains in the night sky. So, for those who have experience and those who went out to do that observation, and we are very far away from the equator, so the higher you go, because the sun, it will be there. You have the position of the sun, and now you have the position of the earth, and as it is rotating, or the tilt of the earth's axis 23.4 degrees, what do we notice in the northern hemisphere? The higher the altitude, it means that your Subh Sadiq time and the beginning of your Fajr time, it occurs much earlier than those countries which are more closer to the equator. So the month of Ramadan is fast approaching, and just like how when we commence our fast, we need to be well informed before the month of Ramadan sets in. Otherwise, we will be given a timetable from the local masjid, and you may not even have that opportunity to even question about this important phenomena, which is known as the astronomical 18 degree. Many people are asking, what is this 18 degrees? So there is a timetable that has been produced, and in fact this is part of the education when we produce this timetable, and it had been checked by many ulama, and we have ulama from Wifaqul Ulama. There is the website .co.uk, and in there you will find the article explaining and referring you to many of the questions that you may have, because most of the confusion is we have not understood this phenomena of what exactly is this 18 degree. So you have your sun rays, you have those countries, the earth is not flat as you can see, and you are on a very high location, any country above 48 degrees, what will happen? It will have an impact on the length of the day and night, and it will be very different in different parts of the world at different times. So when we look at the equator, the day and night are roughly the same, and in the Arctic Circle, when we are right here above in those countries, you will know that there are 24 hours of day in summer and 24 hours night in the winter. In the northern hemisphere, they have longer days with shorter nights, and this is in the summer, but shorter days with longer nights in the winter. So this is very important, given that why is there a difference in the starting time of fasting? This is a very important question. Why is there a difference of time? So the time for Fajr is the first light of true dawn, Subh Sadiq, until sunrise. Fasting starts from the start of Fajr time, when the first light of true dawn appears. This means that it is from the time that the first rays of light from the sun appear on the horizon, and the difference can only be when exactly does that light start appearing on the horizon. And how did Muslims calculate this historically? Muslims would witness the time and make a judgment in the earlier days. About 1,000 years ago, Muslim scientists like Al-Biruni and Al-Haytham calculated the time at which the first rays of light are visible when the sun is about 18 degrees below the horizon. So we can say that for the last 1,000 years, the prayer times have been calculated from the time using the formula of 18 degree. So this is not something that is new and introduced. Hence, it is simply understanding that for countries that are above 48 degrees, high altitude, and now you have the Earth's axis, as you see, it is tilted, and then we know that every day the sun sets, and when you have the rising of the sun, now as the sun rises again, that depression angle of the sun below the horizon, it is sitting 18 degrees. So here you have your horizon, and 18 degrees below, it gives the speck of light. If it appears first vertically and you have the false dawn, and when you have that light start spreading across the horizon, then you eat and drink until the white thread of light. حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود, from the black thread of light, من الفجر, of Fajr. ثم أتم الصيام إلى الليل, then you will complete your fast to the night. So now the question is, what and when is the beginning of our Fajr time? Has there always been a difference? No, the difference has arisen because of the global geographical location of the UK, United Kingdom, within the northern hemisphere of the earth. This has caused some people to question whether the formula for 18 degrees is applicable to global places such as United Kingdom. Has technology made this issue easier to solve? Technology gave us the formula of 18 degrees, but the formula is based upon actual observations. The only advantage technology has the ability to use optical aids and to avoid light pollution and establish the correct times. So how were the times derived? The new timings that many organizations have adopted are based upon either the adjustment of the angle to 15 or actual witnessing by individuals and scholars that happened in the 1980s there in Blackburn. So after having a great and deep understanding and reading and learning and witnessing many a presentation delivered, found that there were discrepancies in those who conducted that observations in the 1987, 88, or was it 89, during those period of time, that those timetables that were produced were not the same timings that were recorded, whether it is the first speck of light or whether it was the light that was spreading on the horizon. And the problem was the very same location is a light polluted area, and hence even if the observations were conducted there, it will give you much later times. And hence, in order to understand the true nature of Subh-Sadiq, one has to know exactly the location, where is the right location. So here we are in the United Kingdom, and do you know, when you look at those countries that are equal length in the summer, those countries that are nearer to the equator, and all those countries you will find day and night are of equal length in the summer and in winter. Just like how you look at right here in the center, all those countries in Central Africa, and as you go to place like Kenya, Ecuador, these countries will give you a timing where the day and night is about 12 hours, meaning it is similar in length. When we look at summer in day and night in the equator, yes, that is what it will give you. But when you go to those places where it's more nearer to the Arctic Circle, right above places like Norway, 24-hour day in the summer and 24-hour night in the winter. So Norway and those places, here we can see Sweden and Finland and all those countries here on top, North Canada and Alaska, these are places which are on a high latitude Arctic Circle, and hence we have 24-hour day in the summer and 24-hour night in winter. So there are places that have this type of experience. So what do you do during this period of time? So the question is, in the summer day, yes, you have in the Arctic Circle, there are times where you experience, and here we are in these days in the month of May, June and July, they will have 24-hour day in the summer. When we go to mid-latitude, and mid-latitude, there's countries like Morocco, Saudi Arabia, India, long day in summer and short night in winter. And now we come to our place here in the United Kingdom, because this is for the people that are living. In summer months, the sun does not set sufficiently for twilight to disappear. So it needs to be pointed out that here we are fast approaching the month of Ramadan, and here we want to know exactly when does our Sahri end, when is the beginning of our fast, because that is your starting time. And if we've understood very clearly, then we need at the same time know that that is the beginning of your Fajr time. So after the break, we're going to come to the most important part of the discussion, and that is to establish and understand the beginning of our Fajr time, and most importantly, when does Sahri end. May Allah Ta'ala accept. Please keep watching. Until after the break, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.